righty, all righty, all righty. Cool. As usual, if you see me hop up, then I am letting somebody in and we'll get started. I have a different chair today. We'll see how well it works. My children were building a pulley system and needed two chairs that were no wider than 17 inches across to put these rubber bands around. So they used both of my yoga chairs, both of them. I have two, and they're both upstairs in the playroom with pulleys all over them and little gondola things hanging from them. So, um, boys, what do you say? Always something fun. All right, ladies, we'll get started as we always do. So sit up nice and tall. Make sure you are not leaning back in your chair, but instead you are sitting up, your back, your torso is supporting you. Good. Look down at that imaginary line. Okay. We talk about this when we're sitting, and we also talk about this when we're standing in Tadasana. So look at that imaginary line and make sure one foot is not further in front of the other foot. Very nice. Lift the toes, spread the toes very wide so that you can feel some stretching in between the toes themselves. And then very gently let them come back down like little feathers. And then press the heels. When you press the heels, you're going to feel those quads engage. And then notice what your default is. So every single one of you have been taking my class for a very long time, right? So one thing maybe you start to pay attention to is certainly you're going to go into that same default, but is that default less extreme than when you first started noticing it? Like if you're someone who leans forward, were you someone that was usually like this, but maybe now you're just a little bit on the front of the sits bone? So that's just something new for you to pay attention to. And you are going to rock it a little bit forward and back, the sits bones. Think of cat cow, but just in the low back, right? Tucking your tailbone and lifting your tailbone. Very good. And then you find your neutral. All right. Once you get to your neutral, press the heels down again because very likely they got light. That is typically what happens. Pull in from the belly, lift up through the front of the chest, let the shoulders roll back. Pull the elbows in and back, and then very gently let your fingertips rest on your thighs. Good. And then let your eyes close. And with your eyes closed, we are going to start with our 3 sighs. So 3 times. You're going to breathe in through your nose. Open your mouth, sigh out through the mouth. Nice and slow. Take your time. After you take those 3 sighs, letting the breath come in and out through your nose. Maybe just taking a quick mental assessment of that seated Tadasana and just notice if anything adjusted while you had your attention on your breath. And bringing it back to that physical part of the body, the heels, the toes, the quads, the torso, the elbows. And then seeing if you can maintain focus on the physical body, on your posture, but at the same time, focusing on the breath. Noticing the breath coming in, noticing the breath going out. And so, although mindfulness is a type of meditation, oftentimes in meditation or in breath work, you are trying to focus on just one thing. In mindfulness, instead, you are actually trying to become aware of all the things that are happening in the present moment without having that expectation. And some people will say without having any judgment. And so you're noticing the physical body, you're noticing your breath, you're listening to my voice. And then as I'm quiet here for a moment, see if you can also, in addition to, become aware of any sounds that might be occurring in your room, in your house, outside of your house. And then when you're ready, just very slowly, gently allowing the eyes to flutter back open. Very nice. All right, good to see you, Rosie. Thanks for joining.
Sorry, I'm ready.
No problem, no worries at all. If you don't mind just muting yourself when you have a second, no rush. Unless you have anything to tell me, of course. Okay, great. Wonderful. All right. So I want you to notice, did anything, again, change in your posture? Are you back in your default, right? The heels still pressing down, shoulders still rolling back. Okay, so try to maintain this. We're going to work with our feet a little bit and with our ankles a little bit. And so I just want you kind of 1 foot at a time. You're going to lift a heel and then you're going to put that heel down and then you're going to lift your toes and curl your toes up and back and then put the toes down. And then you'll go to the other side. You're going to lift that heel, slowly put the heel down, lift the toes, maybe the ball of the foot lifts up and then bring that back down. Okay. You might come when you're lifting your heel, you might come just to the ball of the foot. You might come to the tippy toes. It just depends on what feels good for your ankle and what feels good for your ankle in that moment. Just trying to stay mindful, stay present. Good. All right. So for my count, I'm doing one more on each side, this right side and the left side. Beautiful. All righty. Now you're going to bring your feet a little bit closer in, come up onto your toes, and you're just going to kind of roll the ankles out. Doesn't matter which direction because we're going to go in the opposite direction. The knees are going to move, of course, you know, they are connected. Beautiful. Reverse it, other direction. So we're getting a little bit of a little stretch also in the toes, a little strength in our ankles. Great for walking. Awesome. All right, release that down. Bring your feet back out so they're just underneath your knees and come forward a tad. Okay, so your modification for this next part is to come back onto this aspect where your heel is lifted. Okay, if you want to go further, you're grabbing behind your thigh, you're bringing the leg up, flex the foot. Roll the shoulders back. So there's going to be this inclination of the spine to want to round and the shoulders to come forward. Stay lifted through the chest, pull back through the shoulders. Okay. If your leg is lifted, I want you to see if you can start to straighten that leg, keep the foot flexed, and then bend that knee. Okay. Right. And it's okay if your leg doesn't go all the way straight. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Awesome. One more. And bring that down. So we're gonna do obviously same thing on the other side. So maybe your modification is that you're here and you're working on just keeping that leg lifted with the heel lifted. Maybe you're grabbing behind the thigh, you're bringing your knee in, flex the foot. And remember to stay, I want to say integrated. I don't know if that's the right word, but there's integrity in the spine. So you stay nice and lifted. And then you're going to straighten the leg and then you're going to bend the knee, right? So your foot is flexed. You're pushing out with that heel. And of course, you might observe, as always, how the left side and the right side might feel a little different. One side might feel tighter, one side might feel stronger, and just observing that, again, without any expectation. Awesome. We're going to do one more. And then you are going to release that down. So we're going to go back to the other side. So if you were here with your heel lifted, what I want you to work on is trying to lift your toes off the floor any amount and holding it there. Okay, if you were here, go ahead and bring your leg up, flex your foot. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to take your left arm out to the side, hold the leg with the right hand, pull the belly in, lift the chest. If you want to stay here, stay here. If you want a little further, you're going to reach your other arm out to the side and you're going to feel that hip flexor turn on very strongly, very quickly. All right, so breathe. Belly's in, chest is nice and high. And then you're going to release down regardless of where you are. And then we'll switch it on over to the other side. So maybe heel is lifted and you're just taking those toes off the floor a bit, or you're bringing the knee in, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back, flex the foot. Good. Maybe you take your right arm out to the side. Maybe you take your left arm out to the side. You don't have to, right? And again, just noticing like which side feels a little more challenging for you, which side feels a little stronger for you. And there's always some type of an imbalance between the left side and the right side, and it's completely, perfectly normal. Good. And then you're going to release that all the way down. Beautiful. So I'm going to scoot back like 2 inches back more towards the middle of my chair, and we'll take our cat cows, right? So remember, try to start cat cow at the tailbone, end it in the head like a wave, kind of one vertebra at a time. Exhaling, bringing that tailbone forward, rounding the low back, the middle back, the upper back, and dropping the head. And then inhaling, lifting the tailbone, arching the low back, the middle back, the upper back, lifting the head. Your breath, your pace here. Very nice. If it doesn't feel good for you to look up towards the ceiling, right, you modify and you just look straight ahead, the top of that inhalation. I think it was last week. I believe it was last week. I talked about my little double chin exercise. You're welcome to do anytime we do cat cows, where when you're looking up towards the ceiling, you purse your lips like you're going to give someone a kiss. And that actually strengthens the muscles in the neck and underneath the chin. And when you start doing it, you can really feel how weak it is in that area typically for most of us. I know I can. Good. We're going to do one more cat, one more cow, then we're going to just go right into those barrel rolls. And once you complete that, just moving into those barrel rolls. So it's like you're making a circle with the belly button. Think of making a circle with the waist. The hips and the shoulders, they come along for the ride. They're not driving. Just let them kind of move with the waist. So those of us that have back issues, this and cat cow done together can help stretch out every part of the back. Beautiful. Reverse it. Bring it the other direction. Lovely. All righty. Bring yourself all the way back to center. We are going to do seated sun salutations. We've done them before. I'm going to go through the first one slow, and then we will speed it up a bit. So you're in seated Tadasana, seated mountain pose, just like we started. Arms are going to come by your sides. As you inhale, reach the arms nice and high. As you exhale, fold forward. Let the head drop. On your next inhalation, take your hands to your shins, lift your chest. So you're kind of at a diagonal, but you have a nice flat back. And you're looking at the floor, nice neutral spine. And then on your next exhale, you're going to round the back, drop the head, come into that forward fold again. And then you're going to inhale, reach the arms out to the side, and then all the way back up over the head to sit. It's called reverse swan dive. And then you exhale and bring the hands back to heart. Beautiful. We're going to do it again, a little faster. Inhale, reach it up. Love it. Exhale, bring it forward. As you inhale, lift the chest, hands on the shins. Good. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, reverse swan dive. Bring it all the way up. Love it. Exhale, take it to the heart. Good. And again, inhale, reach. Beautiful. Exhale, fold. Drop the head. Inhale, it's called half lift. Nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Reverse swan dive. Inhale, reach it all the way up. Exhale, take it to the heart. One more. Inhale, reach. Good. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Beautiful. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Bring it all the way up. Exhale, take it to the heart. Beautiful. Bring your feet wider. I'm going to come into that little shimmy twist. So fingertips on the inside of the thighs, heel of the hand on top of the thighs. Exhale, just drop one shoulder down and forward. And then inhale, bring it back up. And then you exhale, of course, go to the other side. And you inhale, bring it back up. Your breath, your pace. I love this twist. Good. Nice, deep breaths. So let's do one more side. Last side. And you're going to come all the way back up to center. Take your time. Love it. Go ahead and place your right forearm on your right thigh. Reach that left arm out to the side. Pull the shoulder back. You can keep your hand here. You can reach it towards the ceiling, or you can turn your palm down, bring the hand over the head, palms facing the floor, and just reach, 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 reach. Beautiful. Release that down. Bring yourself back to center. Switch sides, right? So right arm out to the side. Maybe it's up towards the ceiling. Maybe the palm flips, hand comes over the head. And regardless of where you are, reach. If you're reaching to the wall or the ceiling or over the head, make the fingertips nice and active. Got it. Beautiful. Awesome. Bring yourself all the way back to center. Bring the feet back hip distance apart. Good. All right. You're going to take your left arm out in front of you. And a little tricep stretch, a little stretch for the back of the shoulder. You're going to take your other hand, bring it across the tricep, and then bring your left arm across the body. Good. So your left arm, Miss Peggy's, as straight as it can go out to the side. There you go. Yep. Perfect. Very nice. And then just breathe, right? Breathe into the shoulder blade area. So you're going to let your breath help you stretch. Maybe on the exhalation, you feel that left shoulder drop a little bit. Beautiful. All right, release that arm, roll the shoulders a few times. Good. And then we're going to do it on the other side, right? So right arm out in front of you. You're going to take that left arm, clasp around it, and then bring the right arm across the body. Arms straight as it could go, right? And then you're breathing into the upper back. Breathe into the shoulder blades so that when you inhale, it stretches you. And then when you exhale, maybe that right shoulder drops a little bit, the one that's being stretched. Love it. All righty, release that. Roll the shoulders out a bit. Good. And then we're going to do a pigeon pose on each side, and then we're going to stand on up. All righty. So go ahead and start with the right leg. Right ankle over left knee. Remember your modification. Put it on an ottoman, put it on a chair, cross the ankles. Those are all things you can do if this is not accessible to you. So flex the foot. We haven't done much with our hips, so unless you're feeling like super duper loosey-goosey, just stay upright. Okay, we'll do pigeon pose again at the end of class where we can lean forward. But for right now, just focus on keeping the chest high. Yeah, yes, good, love it. And breathing, of course. We like to breathe. About 10 more seconds. We can do this. Okay, so before you go to the other side, just notice how high your knee is in relation to your ankle on this side. Observe that. Put it down. Switcheroo. Go on over to the other side. Very good. You're going to flex the foot. Again, we're not leaning forward. Not yet. We haven't worked the hips enough. Those of you who took class yesterday, your hips might be sore and feel kind of tight. We did a lot of hip stuff yesterday. So this stretch is for you. Good. Nice. About 10 more seconds. Good. So before you release out of this, take a little inventory of this knee. Notice which knee was higher between the left and the right. And typically that tells you which hip socket is tighter. All righty, release out of that. Very nice. Come on up to stand. Grab water if you want to grab some water, of course. So we are going to, once we get our water, looks like everyone's good now. We're going to go right into our sun salutations. And then after we do a few of those, I'm going to give you an option to do kind of like a half sun salutation, but without the chair. And I'll show you what that looks like. And you can decide if you want to continue to do the typical chair sun salutation or if you want to do the other one. But for now, we'll do what we're used to. So look down, starting in Tadasana Mountain Pose. Check out that imaginary line. I'll go through it quick because we all know this and we've already been through it. So you're going to lift the toes, spread them wide. Place the toes down like a gentle little feather. Press down through the heels. When you press through the heels, notice your legs get super strong, okay? Try to maintain that. Lift up through the chest, through the front of the spine. Let the shoulders pull back, right? So when you're like just standing and talking to people, this is how I want you to stand. Right? Good, nice, proper posture. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, forward fold, hands on the seat of the chair. Good. Bend that right knee, lift the left arm, a little twist. If you need to modify, put your left hand on your hip instead. Beautiful. Bring it back to center. Switch sides. Lift the left heel. Lift the right arm. Twist. Again, modify, placing the hand on the hip. Awesome. Bring it back to center. Good. Walking on back, down dog, Adho Mukha. Hands stay on the seat of the chair. Feet come back. Heels below the hips. Awesome. Now, in this down dog, I want you to really press your hands kind of down and forward into the chair. And at the same time, reach your hips back and up. Think of your tailbone going back and up. We call that bifurcating the spine. So part of the spine's reaching forward, part of the spine's reaching back. Nice big stretch. And then bring your right foot forward, warrior one. Right knee's bent, of course, left heel's down. And keep your hands on the seat of the chair, maybe the back of the chair, maybe on the hips, maybe out to the side, maybe up in the air, okay? Push back through that left leg, the back leg. Make sure you can see the right big toe, all the things. And if your arms are lifted, which it looks like most of yours are, really reach through the fingertips, push the left heel down a little more. It'll give you that nice stretch in that hip flexor that we worked out earlier. Awesome. And take it on down, bring it back downward facing dog. And go back to that bifurcation. So you're reaching forward with the fingertips, pressing the hands down and forward, but the hips are pulling back and up. You're going to feel openness in the spine, deeper stretch typically in the hamstrings. That's the back of the thigh. Good. Left leg's coming forward, warrior one left side. Okay, so make sure that right heel's down. You got it. Determine where you want the hands. Awesome. So looks like most people have their arms up. So reach through the fingertips a lot. Press that right heel down. That's the back heel. And that gives you that nice stretch in the hip flexor. It gives you a stretch in the psoas also, which is a common contributor to poor posture if it's tight. Love it. Take those hands down. Come to your forward fold. Right foot forward, left foot back. Stay in forward fold unless you want more challenge. Lift the toes, put the weight in the heels, come to your chair. It's just like you're sitting back in an imaginary chair. Maybe the arms reach out in front of you. Squeeze this imaginary block in between your inner thighs. Squeeze that. Notice how that changes a lot about chair pose, right? When you don't squeeze it, you don't feel as strong. Squeeze that imaginary block, turn on those inner thighs. And everybody inhale. Beautiful, ladies. Rise and shine, arms above the head. Take it back to the heart. Love it. Awesome. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Bend the right knee, twist to the left. Yes, come back to center. Bend the left knee, twist to the right. Love it, love it. Bring it back to center. Walk it on back, Adho Mukha, down dog. Bifurcate the spine, reach back through the hips, forward through the hands. Good. Right leg's coming forward, warrior one. Drop that left heel, determine where the arms are. If you want this harder, bring the left foot back just a little, bend the right knee a little deeper. Push through the left leg. Reach with the fingertips. Love it. Take the hands down, bring it back, Adho Mukha, down dog. Bifurcate the spine again. Reach through the fingertips, back through the hips. Good. Warrior one, left side. So maybe you're just noticing that down dog. If every time you get into down dog, it feels even a teeny tiny amount easier, right? Good. You want this harder. Scoot that right foot back, bend the left knee a little deeper. Ladies are looking awesome today. Reach to the fingertips. Breathe. Only like 5 million things I'm asking you to do at one time, right? Do this, pay attention here, but breathe. Very nice. Hands come back down, forward fold. Stay here to rest or come to your chair, lift those toes, weight is in the heels, shift the hips back and then down. Maybe the arms rise. Maybe you lift your toes off of the floor, right? Part of why we practiced that a little bit earlier. Keep those toes lifted off the floor. Put the weight really strong in the heels. Squeeze that imaginary block so the inner thighs turn on a lot. Yes. And regardless of where you are, inhale, bring it on up, rise and shine. Good. Exhale, take it to the heart. Beautiful. We're going to do standing half moon. You can stay where you are. I'm just turning so you can see me. Inhale, reach. Grab that right wrist. Extend it on over to the left. If that's too much stretch, right, you bring your hands more in front of your face, right? The further forward the hands go, the less stretch you're going to feel in that side body. Awesome. Bring it back up. Switch sides. Other side. Again, one side's tighter than the other, totally normal. So maybe if you need to bring your hands more forward and lessen that stretch, that's what you do. The further back the arms go, the deeper the stretch you're going to feel. Beautiful. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, release the arms all the way back down. Very nice. So just move your chair over to the side. And you're going to stand up at the top of the mat. And we are going to do, I call it a half sun salutation without the chair. If you feel and find that you need the chair for support, you go right back into what we do every single week. Okay. Very similar to our seated salutation that we did. So look at the imaginary line. You're in your standing Tadasana pose. You inhale, you reach the arms up. You exhale, you come into a forward fold. Let the hands drop, let the head drop. Stay here for a moment. Take a sigh. Take one sigh, take two sighs. Feel that release that occurs with the sigh. Now you come to that half lift. So you're going to take your hands to your shins or even your thighs, and you're going to lift up halfway, right? Think of a nice flat back, and you're still looking down towards the floor to keep the neck happy. And then you're going to exhale and you're going to round that back again, back into that deep forward fold. Just let the arms rest, let them dangle. And maybe you take another sigh or two here to get that release in the spine. Good. Bend your knees a little bit, a little micro bend, reverse swan dive, reach it out to the side, come all the way back up to stand, arms above the head. Exhale, take it to the heart. Okay. So if you did that and you think, right, grab your chair and then do that same sun salutation that we typically do. Otherwise, we're going to do two more just like this, but a little bit faster, of course. So inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold. Let the head drop. As you inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Good. As you exhale, forward fold, let the head drop. Bend the knees a tad. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Reach it up and over the head. Exhale, take it back to the heart. Love it. One more exactly like that. Inhale and reach. Good. Exhale and fold. Let the head drop. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice flat back. Good. Exhale and fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Reach it all the way back up. And exhale, take it back to the heart. Beautiful. Release the arms. Come wide on your mat. Good. We're just going to do warrior 2 on each side. So your feet are pretty wide. Okay. I usually say wider than you think they should be. Okay. You're going to turn your right toes out towards the skinny edge of the mat. Turn the left toes in like just a little bit. So I just kind of kick my heel out a bit and reach the arms up, bend that right knee. So you want to look down, make sure you can see your right big toe. Super important. And then extend through the fingertips and let the chest lift. Let the shoulders drop. Breathe. Become aware of how awesome you are, of how strong you are. Maybe you tell yourself a little positive affirmation. Beautiful. Go ahead, drop those arms, straighten that right leg. You're just going to switch sides. So keep your feet really nice and wide. This time, left toes go to the other side, the skinny edge of the mat. Right heel kicks out, toes come in just a tad. Bend that left knee, lift the arms, warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. So you're looking over that left middle finger. That's your drishti, your gaze. Knee is in alignment. And you almost want to think about, in my alignment training, my teacher would say, feel like you're rolling your knees outwards and backwards, both of them. So you have this like rotation in the hips. And that helps keep them in the right alignment. Just rolling, think of rolling from the inner knee to the outer knee. Love it. Straighten the leg, drop the arms, bring both feet so they're facing forward now. And we're just coming into this nice wide leg forward fold. Beautiful. And breathe. Big breaths in, big breaths out. You can stay in a flat back. You can let your back round if you like. Good. Everybody bend your knees a little bit. Roll yourself all the way back up to stand. And then bring the feet back together. We'll do a tree pose. So if you want support of your chair, right, grab your chair. And I'm going to stand on the right side of my chair, which means my left leg is my standing leg. And then you know the drill, right? So you can do kickstand, heel above the ankle. You can come to your calf. You can come to your inner thigh. Maybe you're holding onto the chair with the left hand and the right hand comes to heart center. Maybe you come to your fingertips of the chair, on the chair. Maybe both hands come together and you balance completely. Or you can take any other variation that feels good to you. You want to breathe and you want to look at something not moving. So I'm sure most of us are swaying a little bit, wobbling a little bit. So don't look at the screen. And then however you came into it, you are going to slowly come out of it. And then we'll just go to the other side. All right, so this time, standing to the left of the chair, right leg is my standing leg. And then deciding where you want to be. Kickstand, calf, inner thigh. Holding the chair maybe with the right hand, left hand, heart center. Find that drishti, the focal point. Maybe you're on your fingertips, the right hand, maybe both hands come together. You take a different variation. You can lift your arms above the head. You can sway. If this feels like really easy and you really want to challenge yourself, you can always close your eyes and breathe. Love it. However you came into it, slowly bring yourself out of that. And I did promise a pigeon pose. So we're going to do one pigeon pose on each side, and then we get to go relax. So as always, if you need water, grab water. It's always good. All right, so pigeon pose, we're going to go on the right side first, again, just like we did the first time. So flex your foot, come into your pigeon, lift your chest nice and tall. Keep the shoulders back, even if you're folding forward. So you might stay right here. You might come forward if it feels good, right? If you're doing the leaning, always remember it's like your chest is moving over your shin. Breathe. 30 more seconds. So we're holding this pigeon for a minute on each side. Five seconds, ladies. We got it. Ah, and release. Oh, the sweet release. Yes. All right. Bring it on over to the other side. Flex your foot. That's really important. Keep your chest high. If you want to lean forward, you can at any point in time during this minute. And if you want to stay upright, you can do that too. Just don't round your back. That's the only thing I ask in this. That takes the stretch out of the hip. Good. Love it. If it feels really intense, taking those really deep breaths, always beneficial, always helpful. Sighs are great. Anytime a stretch feels really intense and it's something we're holding, I always recommend some sighs. And you just feel where is my body let go when I sigh? Where am I holding on to tension? Sometimes, you don't even realize you're holding on to tension in a certain part of your body until you sigh, and then you realize, I need to pay more attention to that. Good. And release. Lovely. So we will go relax. So find a comfortable place. Woohoo! And grab some water while you guys find a comfortable, awesome place to rest. So just remember that this part of the class doesn't matter if you see me, your eyes are going to be closed anyway. What matters is that you are supported physically, that you are not having to hold yourself up, that you are comfortable. You're cold, put on a blanket, throw on some socks, If you're hot, turn on a fan, right? You just want to make sure that you're comfortable. And the only other thing that needs to happen is that you need to make sure you can hear my voice. And that's it. As you're moving into that space, letting your eyes close and maybe starting to make any final adjustments that you need to make at this time. Working on letting go of any of the fidgeting, finding a good place for your arms to rest, making sure your low back is happy. If you're laying down, you can always put a pillow under the knees. And then I'm going to give you, just as we did in the beginning of the class, a few moments to take 2 or 3 just really deep sighs. And remember what I talked about earlier during class about how taking those sighs, it can help you release uh, energy that is stored in parts of the body that you don't even realize. And so you're going to take those sighs and you're just going to feel and assess and observe. Where do you let go when that sigh comes out? Don't be shy with your sighs. Let them go. And after you take those sighs, you're going to let the breath just move in and out through the nose. And we'll go back for a moment just to the practice we did when we were centering the beginning of class. So noticing your body, and this time maybe just sort of noticing its position. Notice how your body feels held and how your body feels supported by whatever it is that you're resting on. Right? Actually feel that support. And as you feel that support, give yourself the permission to release the need to grip and to hold. And sometimes it's even helpful to say something to ourselves along the lines of, I give myself the permission to release. And as you're noticing that support, you're noticing you're letting go, becoming aware as well of the breath. So, in contrast to when we focus on one thing at a time, today I'm asking you, or right now I'm asking you to expand that consciousness to include multiple aspects of the present moment. Your body being supported, you giving yourself the permission and the ability to relax. Many of us need just to have that little mental note. It's okay to relax, to become aware of the inhale and the exhale and the fact that our breath is moving and our breath is constantly changing all the time. And I'm going to be quiet for one full minute here. And I also want you to become aware to notice your process of thinking, right? We're all thinking all the time. There's that internal dialogue that we discuss. And you're just going to notice it for a minute. And that doesn't mean to get wrapped up in what these thoughts are about and to go follow them and start planning. It's to be that detached observer. And you just notice the process of thinking as a process of energy just moving through your consciousness. Okay. So I'm going to be quiet for a full minute while you do that. Good. And then now we're going to switch our practice a bit and just become aware of your inhalation and of your exhalation. And you're going to begin to count how many seconds it takes to breathe in and how many seconds it takes to breathe out. And wherever, your counts may be, you're going to begin to deepen the exhalation. So the inhalation can stay the same, and the exhalation is going to become slower and longer and deeper. And it might happen one count every couple breaths, it might deepen. It's nothing to be forced, but just see if it's possible. Slow down the out breath, count it so that you remain aware of how long that out breath is and how long that in breath is. And if it's comfortable for you, you'll also begin to incorporate a gentle pause at the very top of the inhale. So it's an inhale pause. You're going to count that pause also. And then a slow, steady, deep exhale. You'll count that exhale. And then you'll repeat that cycle. If your body does a natural pause at the end of the exhale as well, that's fine. But we're working right now on what is referred to as an extended exhalation breath. Now, if in your counting you begin to notice that the out breath is double the length of the in breath, like it's in for 3 and out for 6, then when you're comfortable with that for several rounds of breath, you might then add a count onto the inhale and add 2 counts onto the exhale. So perhaps then it becomes 4 and 8, or 5 and 10, whatever it might be for you. And that pause at the top of the inhale, you linger there until you feel the need to breathe out in a way that can still be calm and relaxed. And we know that our mind will go back to that process of thinking. And when it does, just notice the thinking and then come back to the breath work. And the more you practice that, the more you'll notice that just in life, as we go about our day, as we're working to go to sleep, right, we can start to notice when we follow those thoughts, acknowledge that, and then we can come back to this empowering gift we have that is our breath to bring us back to the present and to turn on the relaxation part of your nervous system, which is what this long exhalation does. Tells the brain to signal the body that you are safe and that it's okay to relax, that it's okay to release. Just like you gave yourself that permission earlier to release. Now you can remain where you are. You can keep doing the breath work, working on lengthening the exhale, pausing at the top of the inhale and letting go. Or if you just want to rest and be in a really zen space right now, of course, do that. If you need to come back, then now is the time. By wiggling your fingers and your toes, maybe smiling. It's always a nice way to come back. When you're ready, if you are coming back, you're staying where you are, just ignore what I'm saying. Rest. But you'll stretch any way that feels good for you and slowly come to sit. Oh, I love you guys. Thank you for coming today. Peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, peaceful intentions. Namaste.